It's Richie here with Statifying Football. These are weekday games. This is week 3 for the NFL and week 4 for the college teams. Start with the NFL on Thursday night. It'll be the Carolina Panthers and the Houston Texans. Carolina destroyed New Orleans 26-7. Sam Darnold threw for 305 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Defensively, they had 4 sacks, 2 turnovers, and only allowed 128 yards of offense and held Jameis Winston down because he sucks. Houston, they lost to Cleveland 31-21. Tyrod Taylor was good, 10 of 11, 125, 1 touchdown passing and 1 rushing, but he's hurt, so probably will not play the game. Davis Mills, a rookie from Stanford, he came in and he was okay for a rookie, 8 of 18, 102, a touchdown, and a pick. I think without Tyrod Taylor, I think it may be a little bit too much. I think Carolina is a really good team. This year they could be a playoff team, and I think the Carolina Panthers should win that game. All right, jumping over to college. There's 5 games this week, 1 on Thursday and 4 on Friday. On Thursday is Marshall and Appalachian State. This could be a pretty high-scoring game. Marshall, they lost 42-38 to East Carolina. They were actually up 38-21 with about 8 minutes left in the game. Grant Wells threw for 433 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and he ran for another one. Rasheen Alley ran for 189 yards and 3 touchdowns. Corey Gamage, 8 catches, 180 yards. They put up 647 yards of offense, but they turned it over 3 times, which allowed ECU to get back into and then win the game. Defensively, they did have 5 sacks, though. Appalachian State, they had no trouble with 1AA Elon, winning 44-10. Chase Bryce, 293 passing, 1 touchdown in the air, 1 on the ground. Corey Sutton, 7 catches, 128. Malik Williams, 4 catches, 123, and a touchdown. They had 528 yards of offense. They did turn over twice. Actually, neither one of these teams are going to want to turn it over because both offenses are very potent. This should be a pretty fun game to watch. It could be pretty high scoring. I'm going to give Appalachian State the slightest of edges. I think it should be an App State. Maybe App State can keep Marshall's offense off the field. They got a little bit of a better running game, but these are pretty evenly matched. I will go with Appalachian State, but it could go either way, and it should come down to the final second. All right, going into Friday, you got Middle Tennessee State and Charlotte. Middle Tennessee lost to UTSA 27-13, and it really wasn't that close. UTSA was up 27-0 for most of that game. Chase Cunningham passed for 150 and 2 touchdowns. Bailey Hockman was not very good, though, 5 of 12 for 41 yards and a pick. They only had 199 yards of offense, and they turned it over twice. Defensively, they did force 3 turnovers, which will help them against Charlotte. Charlotte, they couldn't get anything going really against Georgia State. They lost 20-9. Chris Reynolds, he's pretty good, but he was kind of off the mark. He was only 13 of 28 for 158 and a touchdown. Defensively, they forced 2 turnovers and a safety. This should be pretty close, but Middle Tennessee hasn't quite gotten it together. Georgia State's a pretty good team that Charlotte lost to, so I'm going to say Charlotte edges Middle Tennessee State just by a little bit. All right, Wake Forest and Virginia. This should be pretty high scoring. This could be a really fun game to watch. Wake Forest, they destroyed Florida State 35-14. Sam Hartman, 259 passing, 2 touchdowns, a pick, plus 37 rushing yards. A.T. Perry had 7 catches, 155 yards, and a touchdown. And defensively, they forced 6 turnovers against FSU. I don't know if they can force 6 against Virginia, but that will help them. Virginia, they lost in a shootout to North Carolina, 59-39. Brennan Armstrong passed for 554 yards, 4 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Dontavian Wick, 7 catches, 183 and a touchdown. Billy Kemp, 8 catches, 106 and 2 touchdowns. They put up 574 yards of offense. This is going to be a really fun game to watch. It's going to go back and forth. You're going to see a bunch of big plays, 2-play scoring drives. But I think Virginia will be the one that scores last in the end. All right, going over to Liberty and Syracuse, possibly another high-scoring game. Liberty, they beat Old Dominion 45-17. Malik Willis, keep an eye on that name. He was great last year. He's probably going to be a first-round pick this year. He threw for 242 yards, 4 touchdowns, and ran for 77 yards and 2 more touchdowns. So he had 6 total touchdowns in that game. Defensively, they had 5 sacks, and Kennedy Charles had 3 sacks by himself. Syracuse, they did whatever they wanted against Albany, 62-24. Garrett Schrader, 190 passing, 1 touchdown and a pick, plus 42 rushing and a touchdown. Tommy DeVito, 147 passing, 1 touchdown and a pick. Sean Tucker ran for 132 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns, and caught 3 passes for 121 yards and caught a touchdown. So he had 5 total touchdowns by himself. They had 623 total yards. Defensively, they only allowed 135, and they had 8 sacks. And Cody Roscoe had 3 sacks himself. So both teams are going into this game with the guy that had triple sacks last week. Had the hat trick, you could say. Again, this could be a really high scoring game, but keep an eye. Malik Willis, I think, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and he's better than what Syracuse has on offense and defense, really. So I got Liberty winning that game. And then the final one on Friday night, UNLV and Fresno State. UNLV, they got destroyed by Iowa State 48-3. Cam Friel, both their quarterbacks that played were not very good. Cam Friel, 7 of 11, 61 yards and a pick. Tate Martell, 3 of 8 for 33 yards. They only had 135 yards of offense. Whereas Fresno State, they had a big upset. They beat ranked number 13 UCLA. It was a fun game, back and forth. They won 40-37. They scored with like 10 seconds left or something. Jacob Hayner, keep an eye on that name. 455 passing, 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. Ronnie Rivers ran for 136 and 2 touchdowns. Jalen Cropper, 14 catches, 141 yards and a touchdown. Josh Kelly, 8 catches, 120 yards. And they put up 569 yards of offense. They did turn it over 3 times. In the future, they want to keep track of that. But against UNLV, that shouldn't be much of a problem. I got Fresno State winning that one and winning it big. So those are my picks for the NFL game and the 5 college games. Check out my other videos later. Peace.